Have you ever had someone new come into your world and turn your world upside down?
Have you ever had someone take away lots of things you love?
Have you ever felt that you are less than someone else?
Has it ever been a challenge to stay alive in the place you love?
Well, these are challenges that ocean creatures face in their everyday lives.
But what we don't realize is that we have the solution.
Invasive species are defined as organisms that are not native and have negative effects in the ocean species environments and their health. Not all introduced species are considered invasive species. Invasive plants and animals are the second greatest threat to biodiversity.
There are many kinds of invasive species that threaten native creatures because they're able to survive better, which increases competition among the two species. Some examples are the sea walnut, spotfin lionfish, green crab, sea lamprey, and the Rapper whelk.
The sea walnut is native to the east coast of North and South America. The sea walnut contributed to the collapse of local fisheries because they feed on zooplankton that commercial fish also consume.
The spotfin lionfish is a very aggressive predator that threatens local species. This fish has invaded Florida and the Caribbean. What will they do? They keep spreading and killing more and more fish.
The Rapper whelk is an unusual specimen. It is a single marine snail that looks similar to some of the bay's native inhabitants, but clearly has different markings. The snail's ability to hopscotch has scientists worried that it could spread along the eastern seaboard. While stopping the invasion is probably no longer possible, knowing where the snail lives may help scientists predict the snail's next move.
The green crab is a predator to many shore life species, including worms and mollusks. In some areas, the crab's appetite has affected the commercial shellfish industries. These animals are rare and beautiful, but they harm the marine ecosystem.
The sea lamprey is a fish with an eel-like body which is made of cartilage. They have a sucker in place of their mouth and small teeth displayed in circular rows. It is counted as an invasive species because of the way it competes with other native fish, also the fact that it is a threat to other fish.
The impact of having invasive species in our ecosystems where we get some of our food can increase the potential danger of the spread of disease in the food we eat. These invasive species cause the increase in habitat reduction, extinction of native plants and animals, and genetic change in the food web and population. Some of the invasive species produce pollen and sap, which can then lead to respiratory allergies and skin irritation. Some other invasive species cause problems like painful stings, venomous bites, and injuries to animals that we eat, which can then lead to us getting the disease that they have. Zoonotic diseases that affect both humans and animals, such as the West Nile virus, can be fatal.
Invasive species are a huge threat to our marine ecosystem. They destroy the life of natural species that have been living there for centuries.
They feel as if they can just come into our ocean's ecosystem and take over the way of life from our native species. Invasive species are what are bringing down the natural diversity in our ecosystem.
Invasive species cause harm to wildlife in many ways. When a new and aggressive species is introduced into an ecosystem, it might not have any natural predators or
These
controls.
species have the power to spread and breed quickly, taking over an area. Native wildlife may not have evolved defenses against the invader, or they cannot compete with a species that has no predators.
Now do you see the intense threat invasive species are to our life?
Have you ever had someone new come into your world and turn your world upside
Have you
down?
ever had someone take away lots of things you love?
Have you ever felt that you are less than someone else?
Has it ever been a challenge to stay alive in the place you love?
Well, these are challenges that ocean creatures face in their everyday lives.
But it doesn't have to be that way.
Take notice of the problems in the world about these invasive species and help us do something about it.